Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today in this video I will be rating the Thrustmaster TMX Force Feedback. Should you guys buy it? Should you guys not buy it? When should you buy it? When should you not buy it? Is it right for you? All will be discussed in this video, so just let's get into it.
This wheel is very, very good indeed. So as we jump in from the point of view of the driver, we can find that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buttons to map, but the menu button is that one as well, and squares is that one. So we're very limited on buttons already, but that is to keep costs down, as I imagine. And we have a directional D-pad that's got quite a nice click to it, if you can listen to that. Obviously doesn't click down for me as well because it's a bit broken, but that's only because I've used it a lot. And the buttons have a nice click to them, and they're quite deep, as you can see, so that's very, very good quality buttons. And the design looks very good. You can hold it there, the shifters are perfect, and you can go do anything with this wheel. Basically it's very, very good, even though the menu button has worn off a bit around there. Don't know how it's got like that. Probably me pressing it so many times, rewinding on Formula 1. But this isn't the wheel. The redeeming feature of the wheel is that it comes with pedals. These pedals feel more like a sort of toy because they're plastic, and over time the spring in the brake wears off a little bit, or it's just me getting stronger. So it's similar to the accelerator in terms of resistance, but it is noticeable compared to the accelerator. They're very good. They fit on a Play-C challenge, which is just what you need because this is a very, very good stand. And there's no gripes about them. They're just very, very good for what they're worth. If you would buy them separately from the Thrustmaster website, they would only be £44. So that's the kind of quality you're playing with here. And the wheel is just, you've got to think about what you're using it for. If you're just going to use it casually on stuff like Forza, I'd suggest getting the Ferrari 458 Ferrari wheel for games like Forza Horizon and stuff like that, because that will probably work better because this is a bit more advanced piece of equipment. But it is nowhere near the detachable Thrustmaster wheels. As you see, this does not come off whatsoever. So you got to think about what you can use it for. If you're going to use this for F1 games, it works perfectly fine. But for the budget it's worth. It's only £220 in the UK. I don't know if that has changed, but it is very, 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 it's worth the money, even if it's not that much money, but it's definitely worth it. But if you're wanting to sim race on more advanced games, or if you just want to get a lot quicker, then I'd recommend getting the Swerver base instead of this one, because this one, it makes quite the noise, as we'll test it out in a couple of minutes time. But we've talked about the wheel, we've talked about the pedals. Now there's only one thing to talk about now, and that is the base. The base looks good, it looks very nice, and includes 1, 2, 3, 4 ports. That port is for the handbrake or stick shift. That one is for the power, pedals, and this one's for the pedals, and those two are for power and the plug. So as you see, it's quite bulky. That's kind of the width of my hand, like that, if not more. So it is quite bulky. And if you look inside, it has a fan, but I don't know if it really does, because it's very quiet if there is a fan, which is just what you want. But I don't really know, because I've never noticed it. I did have one problem though with this wheel, because I did leave it on overnight, not the Xbox on, so the lights were off, but it's still plugged into the wall and on, and left it like that for quite a while. And you wouldn't expect it to brake, but the force feedback overheated and we have to send it over to Thrustmaster to get it fixed again. So that's not ideal and cost me quite a lot of time, to be honest, because it took 2.5 weeks. But it's very good, and I'd recommend this Playseat Challenge seat. It's just very no nonsense, cheap but quality as well. So the only thing to do is rate the force feedback and how it drives in game. So what I'm going to do is that I've got project cars round Donington Park, and I'm going to set it up there, and I'm just going to drive a lap to show you guys how the wheel, how it works basically. So we're coming along the main street now. Probably should have sound on. So you can see how much it's rattling, how much it's moving. It's not aggressive by any means, but I've got it quite low down on project cars, because if you had it on 100 on project cars, your hands would be literally quaking down the straight, be going from left to right. But as you can see coming out the corners, when it slides, you can really feel the slide. It is very, it's detailed for the price point, and definitely better than some of the other wheels out there. So, but you can hear that noise. It's very off-putting, to be frank. And some of the belt drives will give off absolutely no noise and give off a lot better force feedback, because this has a chain inside, I think, as you can tell by the sprocket inside, I think. As you see, the paddle's got very good click motion, even though I lock up a lot. But it's got great click motion. It's absolutely brilliant. Just listen to this. It's just perfect click. You just don't want anything more, to be honest. It's beautiful, and all the buttons, as you see, if I wanted to change brake bias, change anything, the buttons are right next to me here, so technically I could kind of drive it like this on the straights and in the corners. So I'm in a corner now and I can still change whatever. But the problem, one of the problems is that you don't really know when you're locking up, so because some of the better pedals out there, you can brake as hard as you want, and then you can feel when it's locking up. But I'm kind of relying on visual cues when I'm locking up, because realistically I have no idea. So ABS is off, but in my rear view mirror I can see when I'm locking up, but I can't feel it through the pedals or through the bass. And realistically, I can feel the rumble strips quite nice. I think because I do karting, it feels quite realistic in that respect. It feels really, really good. But this wheel will do you absolutely fine if you're more entry level to league racing. But if you're mid tier, top tier, if you're wanting to upgrade from like a Logitech or something, do not upgrade to this, because it's probably at the same pecking order. But obviously budget wise it's very accessible to everyone, and it's very easy to mount, as you have the clamp here, can basically clamp onto anything. So this is just a thin piece of metal, so it's very usable in every regard. And the force feedback's very detailed, which is really good. And you probably wouldn't expect it from the price point and just looking at it, because it doesn't detach whatsoever, and you probably wouldn't think of it by looking at it, but rest assured it is very good. It's very, very good, and everything is there. The rubber grips, I think they've got harder over time, and I've picked some of it away, but they're very good. They do come, when your hands get sweaty, it does come off in your hands and peel off, as you see all the marks there, especially in the thumb holds there. So it's worn away. It's just worn away, quite frankly, which is slightly annoying, but it doesn't detach from anything. So you may want to wear gloves, but I think the gloves might be quite hard with the buttons, as the buttons are quite small. Oh god, I've had a bit of a spin coming into the final corner. But I would recommend it to anyone who's starting league racing, who doesn't have the budget to spend a lot of money on a wheel, and I'd recommend it because it's very, very good value for money, and you can sell it off after you're done with it, and it's basically exactly the same as you bought it for. As long as you keep it in pristine condition, you can probably sell it for 30 quid under what you bought it on eBay. Which is exactly what you want, because you know people will buy it once you're done with it. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you want to go buy the wheel, the link will be in the description. I'll just link the Thrustmaster shop. This isn't a sponsored video or anything, as you can see by my sub count, but I would recommend it. If your budget is lower, I would definitely get it over something without force feedback, because the force feedback helps a lot. So thank you guys very much for watching, and goodbye.